The mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make me uncooperative. You've got much better things to do to fuck me. Every single cop in this nation is a liar.
Some officers act like they are above the law until they run into an informed citizen who knows their rights and isn't afraid to stand up. Just like this idiot cop who didn't even know the law.
Man, you can't be passing on the right like that, dude. You're allowed to split lanes, but you can't pass on the right.
Does it say that in the statute?
Statute of what?
For lane splitting, lane sharing.
Yeah, you can't pass on the right, bro. It's
okay. Does it say that in the lane sharing statute?
I don't know what the lane sharing statute is.
So the rules governing.
There's not two lanes. So if there's two lanes, so let's just say.
I'm gonna reach for my phone. Don't get. Hey, come here for a second. This is the DMV website. California law does not allow or prohibit motorcycles from passing other vehicles proceeding in the same direction within the same lane. Within the same lane. Has nothing to do with two lanes. I was within the same lane. Yeah, I wasn't past the white line.
All right, I'm not gonna argue, man. Can you read that again? I'm sorry.
Sure. Well, here, you read it right there. California law does not allow or prohibit, that means I'm allowed to do it, from passing other vehicles proceeding in the same direction within the same lane, a practice often called lane splitting, lane sharing, or filtering. Lane sharing.
Trooper Parody had no idea that he was dealing with someone well versed in statutes and the law. Shockingly, instead of admitting his mistake and letting the motorcyclist go, he escalated the situation further.
Can I see your license, registration, insurance?
Okay, what is your cause for pulling me over and asking for my information?
Man, unsafe passing within the lane, dude.
No, I'm just showing you the law.
Bro, listen to me. I'm not here to argue with you. I just need your license, registration, insurance, okay?
Okay, and I'm asking you for what purpose?
I just told you, because you're passing vehicles within the same lane on the right.
That's allowed.
Safe passing on the right. I'm not talking about lane splitting. You're not splitting lanes. You're passing vehicles on the right.
Okay, this literally just says lane sharing.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about splitting lanes on the right. You're not allowed to pass vehicles on the right.
The California's lane splitting laws clearly indicated that he had not committed a crime and was not obliged to hand over his document, but something about this learning had hurt the officer's ego.
In order for you to ask me for that information, I have to have broken the law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great, thank you, great. Okay, this is being recorded. So, if I have to provide you my information, I want to know what law I broke, because I clearly just showed to you. This is from the California DMV. Bro, you are misinterpreting and misunderstanding the law, man.
There's also a law that says you cannot pass unsafely on the right.
Okay, so I have this on tape. Show me where I passed unsafely.
I will. Let me see your license, registration, and...
So, again, what law did I break?
Let me explain it to you, okay?
You're going to explain it different than law.
You know the law.
No, I can read English.
Okay. All right, well, I can too. So let me explain my interpretation of lane splitting.
Okay, your interpretation as opposed to facts.
Okay. Facts, lanes, whatever you want to call it, man. Let me explain to you what I consider lane splitting. If you've got two lanes or more, all right?
Which doesn't say here, right?
If you've got two lanes or more, okay, in one direction, and you go in between the lanes, whether you're in the lane to the right or the left.
Parody was adamant that the motorcyclist had broken the law, and what should have ended long ago was about to turn into a long and meaningless altercation.
The thing is, right, and where you're wrong, okay, that's your interpretation of it. That's not what the black and white says. And look, take your glasses off and I'm gonna get off my bike, is that all right? Within the same lane. It has nothing to do with two lanes.
Lane splitting though, we're not talking about lane splitting here.
Hey, I'm talking about what the law says.
But you're looking at this as lane splitting. There's no two lanes to split, my man. You understand that? There are no two lanes to be splitting here.
Okay, so show me right there where it says it has to be two lanes.
Bro, are you splitting lanes?
I'm sharing. Hold on.
Sharing the lane.
Yes, look, right there as it says, lane sharing.
Right.
Sharing.
While you're splitting lanes.
No.
Bro, you're looking at the DMV web. There's vehicle code. Okay. Vehicle code. Let me look it up and I'll explain it to you better.
Okay.
How's that sound, man?
All right, I'll tell you what. Why don't you look it up? I got time. I'm my own boss, all right? Why don't you look it up? And if I broke the law, not your interpretation of it, if you need to get a sergeant or somebody else here, do so. I'll gladly hand you my information.
Realizing he was getting nowhere with his limited understanding of the law, the trooper asked for time to review it and called his sergeant for backup. Meanwhile, the motorcyclist continued schooling him.
Hey, here's some more clarification for you, okay? Sorry, I didn't mean to touch it. All right, AB 51 into law, which define lane splitting as driving a motorcycle as two wheels in contact with the ground between rows of stopped or moving vehicles in the same lane. Doesn't matter. I can be in the same lane as long as did you see me over the white line at all?
On the shoulder, no.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Exactly, yeah. Hey, so, dude, I'm reading the vehicle code.
Hold on. Yep. AB 51, which
I'm reading the vehicle code, man. So, first of all, before we even get there, man, my intention of stopping you was because it was for safety issues, right? I mean, you're passing cars on the right. If a vehicle had to slam on the brakes and turn right and they hit you, whatever. Just like you're splitting lanes, right?
Yep.
While speaking with his sergeant on the phone, Parody was instructed not to issue a ticket and to end the stop. However, even this didn't stop the officer from continuing his attempts at intimidation.
But reading the law, it is not clearly stated as far as whether or not you could be passing on the right in one lane or two. Right? So I just called my supervisor.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, dude, I don't know anything about that because I never write it because it's not clearly written in law.
Sure.
Right? Well, it's not.
No, except it is.
Well, except it doesn't clarify whether or not you're allowed to pass. Well, it says in the same lane, but lane splitting. Well, just hear me out.
Go ahead.
Lane splitting in my interpretation, okay? Lane splitting is you got two or more lanes in the same direction and you're going in between the lanes, right? But the law says within two or more rows of traffic in the same lane.
The trooper began blaming the statutes, claiming that they were unclear. At this point, he seemed willing to do anything to avoid admitting he was wrong and letting the individual go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, both of you, right? In order for you to ask me for my ID, I have to have committed a crime, correct? You can't just walk up, hold on, let's answer this right. You can't just walk up to somebody and say, give me your ID, right? We don't live in a police state. You guys are meant to enforce the law.
Okay.
So I have to have committed a crime in order for you to give me your ID, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that's the first thing. That's why I'm arguing. I don't want to argue with you about, whether I have to give you my ID, because I know I don't have to. So and I'm going to use this term because that's what it is, and it's not a negative infliction upon you or anybody else. There's a difference between stupidity and ignorance. Ignorance, I'm ignorant of a great many things. I'm not a brain surgeon, so I don't know anything about it. But ignorance of this specific statute as it applies in California, it says same lane. I know what you're saying. That's what the general public thinks. It is poorly written. They tried to do something about it. CHP had guidelines on it that were removed because people had questions and didn't understand what the law actually says.
Yeah.
The individual turned out to be an active duty Navy officer with an impressive command of California law, an example that every citizen could learn from.
My intention was never to actually give you a ticket.
Then why did you ask me for my registration and insurance?
Because I have to document all my contacts. Okay, I have to document my contacts.
If I broke the law?
Well,
you have my info. It's right there on my plate.
So you're not getting a ticket, but initially my interpretation was that you were breaking the law, but you're not getting a ticket. All I'm asking is for your identification so I can record my stop with you.
Oh, you've got a recording of it.
All right, man.
You've got a dash cam.
Whatever,
what do you mean whatever?
It's all good. You don't have. It's all good.
You're right. I don't. So I'm asking you though. Did I break the law today? Yes or no?
Yeah. Like I just explained to you. Originally, my interpretation was yes, you did. But now reading the section, and it's not clearly stated.
The situation had become almost comical, as the trooper, despite acknowledging that no law was broken, still refused to let the motorcyclist go.
I know you guys got a job to do, but this is frustration. He clearly read it. I haven't violated the law. I've got it on camera. Hey, you guys have a tough job, trust me, I get it. I'm getting some chapstick. You said yourself it's hot, okay? Come on.
So we understand. My probable cause to stop you is because you were passing vehicles on the right.
Right, uh-huh.
All right?
Which is not against the law.
Trooper Parady's behavior exemplifies exactly how a law enforcement officer should not operate. He hid behind the guise of public safety while completely disregarding the law.
Yeah.
I'm simply asking you if you have a license. You say, yes, you do in another state, but you can't provide that information to me.
Again, tell me what law I broke that caused this stop to begin with.
I just did, sir. I just did.
No.
And now I'm asking for some identification. And you say that you have a license, but you don't want to provide that information.
Sure. If you pulled me over for a valid stop, which right now we've already established this isn't a valid stop. You went back
The stop
and
is valid, man. The stop, it's a valid stop.
No, it's not.
It's a valid stop.
You just
You're
said
passing cars on the right.
Yes, that's not against the law.
On the right.
It's not against the law.
Hey, in my opinion, it's unsafe passing vehicles on the right, whether it's lane splitting or not. You're not getting a ticket for that. All I'm asking for is for some ID.
The trooper surely needs a reality check, and someone should tell him that the law doesn't work according to his opinion. Shortly after, 4 officers surrounded the motorcyclist, and it is still unknown what law he broke.
I'm just telling you what I got right now. Right now, I have you're riding a motorcycle,
Yep.
and you don't have a license in California.
Yep.
So, is the vehicle going to get towed, or are you going to provide me with your information?
I'll tell you what, if you want to tow it, then we can end up in court. That's that's fine. Go for it. Get a supervisor here, get somebody else here. I'll call my lawyer.
Right.
Because you're not, you already know who I am. What information do you want? Well, hey,
All you do is show me your license, man.
no, I don't. I don't have to show you my license. What crime did I commit? What crime did I commit?
We're done here, brother.
Great. So 4 officers, all these resources for a crime that never got committed. And you learned something. Hey man, you guys stay safe. Have a good day.
After going back and forth for almost 30 minutes, the trooper did something which he should have done instantly, letting the Navy guy go without any trouble. Shockingly, to avenge on this humbling, the officer ended up contacting his command officer and told him about the incident. Talk about being petty. Now, while this arrogant cop was left humiliated, this woman officer also had plenty to learn.
Did you learn anything today, ma'am?
I learned a lot today.
Yeah? That's good.
In December of 2020, First Amendment Auditor NC Tyrant Hunter was filming outside a private building of Micro Measurements Group when a couple of employees came out trying to intimidate him and stop him from filming the public place.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I can't hear you, man.
Who are you?
Just a guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything we can help you guys with?
Yeah, I'd like some coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. That'd be great, man. Maybe a bagel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you some issue or you guys needed help with something.
No, I think we've pretty grown. I think we can take care of ourselves.
All righty.
Yeah. That coffee, I need 5 sugars and 2 creams.
All righty.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you? Not too good.
The auditor firmly stood his ground, causing the employees to leave the scene. However, they called 911 and a female officer arrived. Unfortunately, she appeared to be just as uninformed about the law as the employees.
What are you out here doing?
What's your name and badge number?
Officer Akins. We don't have badge numbers.
Employee number? ID number?
Officer Akins.
I'm saying, you got a card?
I can get you one, yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely. So the manager of this facility pretty much called us. Hi, how are you? They said that y'all aren't supposed to be out here.
Not supposed to be on the side of the road?
But technically, this right here, this is their property.
No, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay.
Okay, get the supervisor, please.
Yes, sir.
Right on.
The auditor called for a supervisor, hoping he would bring some sort of justice. Meanwhile, cops kept ganging up on him, but he refused to stop filming, as per his constitutional right.
So you check on
That works for me. So the manager here called, said they're out here filming. Technically, this right here is their property. They're asking for a supervisor or captain or somebody. I let them know that this is still their property. It's private property. They can't be right here. And they wanted a supervisor. They said I was wrong. That's what
Yeah. Well, she's fixing to learn something. A free education today. Two people filming on the side of the road. Huh? That's crazy.
It was absurd how many officers responded to such a minor issue. Shortly after, the supervisor arrived and gave the female officer an unforgettable lesson on the law and citizens' rights.
How you guys doing?
What's up?
I'm y'all from last year.
Can I get your name and ID number?
John Slaughter. We don't have ID numbers, so.
I hear
So
you.
you guys just out here filming?
That's it, man.
Okay.
And she's trying to tell she needs to learn where the damn easement is, man. You're a rookie?
No, she's not a rookie.
There's
Yeah, we don't come out here unless we know what we're doing.
Okay.
You already know. I think you know that, but she knows it now.
So.
It's right at the end of that sign, just the side of it.
Are y'all doing a commercial?
Well, we're doing an investigative story.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And now y'all in it. So,
See where this is washed out like that?
did you learn anything today, ma'am?
If somebody pulls off
I
the
learned a
road,
lot today.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, that's why we do this, for educational purposes.
I guess I need to.
It is. I'm not trying to make you look,
Yeah, you guys go right ahead.
you know what I mean? I'm not trying to make you look like a fool or anything, but that's why we do what we do.
The female officer had been proven wrong by her own boss, and it didn't take long for her to apologize. It's always great to see these tyrants back off, and this brave auditor had these officers learning a lot.
Yeah, as long as you guys don't block the road.
Yeah, we got it, baby. We got it, man. We got all that.
Where
You
did
know
we
that.
see you at last year? Where did we see you at?
I don't think you guys specifically talked to me, but I remember you guys going to town hall and the police department.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. But that's why, I mean, that's what we do. We don't trespass. We don't do anything illegal. And now this gentleman knows, this one, she knows for sure that, can't make us move off of a county property.
And even if they paid for it still belongs to the state.
Well, I mean, whatever you guys want to do, this is what y'all enjoy.
Yeah, he knows that, man. He knows that.
That's what y'all
He
wanna
just don't want to make her look bad. That's what he's doing.
Well, no, she can't call me to come out here to help out.
Because I asked for you. That's why she did. She was about to do something really bad. If I hadn't asked for a supervisor, she would have probably said, okay, you're under arrest and all, the whole nine. But I asked for you specifically in the hopes that you did know where we was at and we could be right here.
Guys, you guys have a good time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Moving on, this auditor refused to let these officers violate his rights. Watch what happened next as he stood his ground and turned the tables.
The mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make me uncooperative. You've got much better things to do to fuck me. Every single cop in this nation is a liar.
Some cops think they can get away with anything, but every now and then they mess with the wrong person and live to regret it. Today we'll be looking at cases where arrogant officers learned a hard lesson the moment they picked the wrong fight. On June 5th, 2015, Mike was working on a domestic case as a private investigator and was surveying a woman. However, the subject noticed and quickly turned the situation against him, calling JSO and falsely claiming that she was being stalked.
Now we get to meet one another. How are you doing? What's going on with you following me? Are you an investigator of some sort?
Can I ask why you pulled me over, sir?
I pulled you over because the young ladies came over there and said you've been following her since she left the airport yesterday. So I want to know who you are.
Have I committed a crime?
No, but I'm conducting an investigation. Have you been following that young lady? I mean, if you're an investigator, investigate away. But if you're somebody harassing her or stalking her, that's against the law. Me pulling you over to find out who you are is me doing my job.
You mind getting that light out of my eyes?
Sir, it's nighttime. I don't know you from Adam's house cat. I don't know if you have weapons in here.
You see both my hands right here.
Well, I don't know if you have weapons in here, man. So I'm going to keep my flashlight right here where it is. I don't have it in your face. That would be in your face. I have it down. I'm trying to show you that respect. I'm illuminating the vehicle for my safety.
Mike wasn't just a private investigator, he was a certified interrogator with law enforcement experience, yet officers believed that they could outsmart him.
Now, would you agree that I've answered every question you've asked me? And all I asked you was one simple question.
Am I free to go?
No, you are not. Not until I find out who you are. I'm conducting an investigation. Do you have your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance on you?
Have you pulled me for a traffic violation, sir?
No, sir, I've already explained that to you. Now, you can play the back and forth rigmarole all you want to. I've explained to you why I pulled you over.
Okay, and
the
you
young
didn't have PC. I'm not suspected of committing a crime.
The probable cause is that you've been following this young lady, and she...
Do you know that, sir? Did you see that? Did you see that, Deputy?
Came back by. Why'd you come back by?
I don't have to answer questions.
Okay, you don't have to answer questions. Okay? You do have to identify yourself, sir.
Sir, if you suspect me of committing a crime or about to commit a crime, I have to identify myself. You have no probable cause to pull me for a traffic violation. I asked you why you pulled me.
Because the young lady said that you've been following her since yesterday.
So you believe everything everyone says to you?
Mike had done nothing wrong, but the cop's weak approach only led to an unnecessary confrontation.
Will you conduct right away, sir? At this point in time, I elect to not say anything. I elect to speak to say anything without having my attorney present. That would be Eric Friday.
Call him. Tell him to come up here. We're at the 8100 block of Arlington Express.
Just so you're aware, you're being videotaped.
I do not care. Do you get my good side? My right side is usually my best side.
Yeah, there's no good side on the cop's face.
Well, you're one of those people.
Yeah, one of those people. Yeah, and you're one of those people, right? Gun and badge grant extra rights, right?
No, it doesn't grant me an extra right.
Yeah. How about you do your job and honor your oath?
Telling me that somebody's been following her since yesterday? Yeah, I'm gonna investigate.
Yeah, and you just take everything everyone comes up to you. Okay, I just said someone pull a gun on me. You gonna go investigate that?
I sure would. Who pulled a gun on you?
Yeah.
Someone pull a gun on you?
I don't answer questions, Deputy.
You don't answer questions. You just stalk young ladies. Just stand by them.
The deputy refused to identify himself and quickly left, but what happened next was even more telling. Multiple officers arriving at the scene.
Your name and badge number, Deputy? Your name and badge number, Deputy? The guy that pulled me over is leaving. Am I free to go, Deputy? Am I free to go?
No, sir, not yet.
What am I being detained for, sir?
Hey, when I get around to get my car where it needs to be, I'll explain to you.
No, we want to, someone's saying that you're claiming you're stalking them. Is that, are you an investigator or anything?
Okay, let me make this clear, sir. I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm not giving you gentlemen a hard time.
Yeah. Not yet.
So I'm going to roll this window up, okay?
Okay.
I'd like to know,
someone's allegedly,
let me speak for a moment, sir. No disrespect.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like for you to articulate what crime you suspect me of committing or what crime you suspect me of about to commit.
Now, Mike knew his rights and refused to back down no matter how much pressure the cops put on him.
No, we just have a reasonable suspicion to figure out what's going on here.
No, sir. So you don't get to detain me to figure out if I've committed a crime, sir. The law and the statute states, in order for you to detain me, you must have reasonable, articulable suspicion that either I have committed.
Yeah, we have probable cause.
What is your probable cause?
We got a complaint that we got. That's a red.
That's not probable cause, sir. What crime do you suspect me of committing?
Stalking.
And you suspect me of committing stalking?
That's why I want to know. Were you anywhere near this? Near this?
I don't answer questions.
Do you know who she is?
I do not answer questions.
She has no idea.
If you're going to articulate that you suspect me of committing a crime and have reasonable suspicion of that,
if you don't agree with it, if you don't agree without probable cause,
your name and badge number, sir.
Sir, what's your name?
Your name and badge number, sir.
Well, you gotta remember.
All of you being recorded. I've got 4 cameras in this truck.
You're
required by policy to issue your name and badge number. I'm going to ask you what. I'm speaking to this gentleman right now. I'll get your name and badge number in a minute. Your name and badge number.
The officers had no legal right or any reasonable suspicion to keep him, yet they refused to acknowledge it. It is concerning how ignorant and power-hungry cops are.
What's your name?
I just told you.
I didn't hear it because I'm sitting there speaking to this
recording
gentleman.
it so you can pick it up later.
So I'm going to ask you once again. If you want to be a smart about it, I'll file an internal affairs case on you.
I gave you once already.
I didn't hear it. I'm asking you once again, so to extend some professional courtesy and treat me with the respect I deserve.
I did.
What is your name and badge number?
Well, here's sir, I gave you mine. 0051.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Deputy. Was that so hard?
No.
Your name and badge number, sir.
When I give you my name and badge number,
can I have your name?
Name and badge number, sir.
Lou.
I'd like to have your name, sir.
See, the thing is, sir, the law states I don't have to give my name and information unless you suspect me of committing a crime.
I don't.
Then am I free to go? Because this is an illegal detainment.
At this time.
This is an illegal detainment.
Okay.
My attorney, Mr. Eric Friday, would love bring up a civil lawsuit against you in the city for this illegal detainment.
Sir.
When officers violate your rights and refuse to admit it, it only highlights how deep corruption and abuse of power runs in the system.
We're not trying to upset you.
I'm not
We
upset.
had a radio call. Let me give you what
Go right ahead, sir.
We got a radio call that a vehicle matching this description of your vehicle was harassing someone in a short sense, okay? Don't know what's transpired. We don't know anything about it. Your car meets what we were told, and that's why we're questioning you.
Okay.
And that's very simple. All we need to do is just ask you your name and the car and where have you been.
May I ask how my name is going to establish whether I've harassed someone or not?
You ask for our name. It would be nice to have your name as well.
It would be, but see, I don't...
And you don't have to give it
I appreciate
now
you saying that, sir.
All right, you don't have to give it now, but we'd just like to know, so we can, gentlemen,
yeah.
Would that be
My
okay?
name is Mike, sir. You can address me as Mike.
Okay, that's fine, Mike. That's a great beginning.
All right.
And the reason why is because, like I said, your car matches the description we were given.
I respect
Doesn't
that.
mean
I respect
you're guilty.
That. I respect that. You're talking to an ex-law enforcement officer, buddy.
These officers thought asserting rights meant refusing to comply, until Mike proved them wrong. Just watch as he teaches them a lesson they won't forget.
We're not saying you're guilty of anything. We didn't say that.
Then you are illegally detaining me. I asked the
sir.
last deputy that left, what was his reason for stopping me? He didn't stop me for traffic. Let me calm down. I shouldn't be yelling at you.
Thank you.
I shouldn't be doing that.
I'm not yelling at you.
This deputy that stopped me, sir, did not articulate he was stopping me for a traffic violation. Then I asked him what his probable cause was, or what crime he suspected me of committing, or what reasonable crime, or reasonable suspicion.
The case is, as I stated, is that we had a description of a vehicle. Your vehicle matched that, and we're just here to determine, no, you're not the one, or yes, you are the one. Very
but see,
simple.
the law protects me. I don't have to answer questions.
Yes, sir. But we're asking for your cooperation. And can we get that cooperation?
I'm cooperating. The fact that I extend my rights doesn't mean I'm not cooperating, sir.
This is a clear example of why citizens should stand up for their constitutional rights, especially when the government outweighs our freedom.
Would you agree with that, sir?
But I don't understand it. If you said you were an ex-law enforcement officer, and you understand that when somebody calls us and says, hey, this vehicle was following me, okay? And we stop you, and we ask you questions regarding you, either you did or you didn't.
Correct.
Wouldn't you think a citizen, if they weren't doing anything wrong, would say, no, I'm not doing
but
that?
But see, sir, as a law enforcement officer, I realize how LEOs twist people's words.
No, we're not.
Let me finish speaking, okay?
Yes, please do.
They twist people's words. Any attorney, and all you three gentlemen will know, you don't ever speak to the cops.
I want to hear what he got to say.
You don't ever talk to cops. Never. You never talk to cops unless you're legally obligated to. Nothing good can come from that. I'm very well of my rights, very well aware of my rights. Now, I understand you're doing no fault with that. You are doing your job.
Okay.
And the mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make me uncooperative. Okay?
Mike stands his ground with absolute authority, showing these officers what it means to know and exercise his right.
Now, the fact that someone called you and said they're harassing doesn't give you the general order just to stop people.
No, that wasn't the reason why. Because a person in a vehicle that matched your description was doing that. We didn't say you were doing it.
Okay.
And that's what we're coming down to.
But how do you define harassing? Someone just called says they were harassing. Did you ask her what they did? Did you ask the person?
She said a red truck, pickup truck was following her since she came in town.
Is that a crime?
We haven't determined that. We just want to make sure.
Do you see where I'm going with this, sir? I mean, I understand you guys are doing your job, but do you see how this goes? I'm aware of my rights. You do not have, or excuse me, you have the right to ask me whatever question you want.
You're really enjoying this.
I'm not enjoying anything. You know what I am enjoying? How you officers fail to realize that those badges and those guns don't give you the right to violate other people's rights. Sir, you are. I've articulated to you that you are illegally detaining me.
Now, you have got to give it to Mike. He handled the situation perfectly. He stood firm, refused to be intimidated, and kept his cool while asserting his right.
And because you choose to abuse your authority and not recognize that what I'm saying is a fact, you are illegally violating my rights.
To question you, to find out if you are the one or not the one that was violating this other woman's rights.
But I've made it clear, sir, I'm not going to answer questions.
Well,
I've made it clear I'm not. You don't get to.
Cooperating.
Yes, sir. The fact that I'm exercising my rights does not mean I'm not cooperating, sir.
Yes, it does.
It does not. It absolutely does not. Now, if I was doing something against the law or resisting you in some manner...
We can't determine that.
But you don't get to question me so I can give you information so you can make a case or not a case. I'm not saying I am this person, I'm not saying I am not this person. But what you fail to realize is I do not have to speak to you, sir. And that does not give you the right to detain me until you get some information to charge me with a crime. You don't get to search and search until I say something or you twist something I say to use it against me.
Shockingly, officers pledge to uphold the Constitution without ever understanding the rights that they swear to protect.
You gentlemen have a dangerous job. There is 19 unsolved murders in this city. Okay? You've got much better things to do to me. Okay? I'm not a threat to anyone.
We're not here.
What? Sir, there's 5 cops here. The gentleman that pulled me, and if he had any reasonable articulate suspicion, is no longer here. I'm assuming, I don't know where he is or where he's gone. You 3 gentlemen have no first-hand information. No first-hand information. This officer that pulled me over said he spoke with some individual that says apparently I was doing something was classified as harassment.
That's not what we said. We didn't say you.
You didn't say that. I said that officer.
That your vehicle was told.
Now, were you here? See this camera here?
Yes.
That officer stood here and said he spoke to a woman that said I was harassing her and following her for days. I didn't say you 3. The black gentleman, the gentleman that was here a few moments ago, that has now left the scene. So once again, gentlemen, hold on. Let me calm down.
Go ahead.
All 3 officers were left speechless, frantically trying to figure out how to get through, but none could match his knowledge and resolve.
Once again, gentlemen, if you have a reasonable articulate suspicion of me committing a crime or about to commit a crime, you have a right to detain me, ask me for my ID, which I will oblige you with, as I'm required by law. Short of that standard, you are illegally detaining me. I've asked to be free to go, and you are telling me until I give you some information, I'm not free to go. That is a violation of my rights, sir. Do you understand that?
Please going to give us your ID. That's all I need.
You know what, guys? I would love to give it to you because I used to be one of them. But because I'm aware of my rights and because of my life experiences with law enforcement, I choose to exercise my rights. Not to be difficult, sir. You guys have much more better things. See, that's just it, because people don't know their rights. And because LEOs, I don't know you 3 gentlemen personally. I quit a department because I ratted out the crook cops that worked with me. Okay?
What is frightening is that the only thing keeping these officers from escalating further was the camera recording them, and the fact that Mike was an ex-cop.
I'm sick of it. The corruption is everywhere. Every single cop in this nation is a liar. All right? I used to be one of them.
And you're calling 3 of us liars.
Yes, sir.
Just another example of officers twisting literally anything just to make someone look guilty.
If you're going to stand here and tell me you've never falsified, twisted a report just for your benefit, or provided false information, or saw one of your fellow brothers in blue violate someone's rights or do something wrong by the mere fact of you withholding that information and not going to your supervisor makes you a liar.
I did not.
In your life, you've never ever lied. You've never ever lied in your entire life.
Well, that's something. Are you talking about as a police officer or as a human being?
As a police officer, you've never lied in your life. Sir, you're allowed to lie in investigations. The Supreme Court has ruled you're allowed to lie. So your credibility just went out the window for me. I'm a certified interrogator, buddy. Don't sit here and play this game with me. You just lost your credibility. Now, any respectable person would say, of course I've lied. I've lied in the line of duty. I've lied in my personal life. Yeah. I got more integrity in my finger, buddy, than you've got in your whole body.
Okay, sir.
Wow, that has got to be one of the most shocking conversations ever. One man calls all cops liars, and the officers silently nod in agreement. That is truly wild.
Back to my original question
Yes,
when
sir.
I first got here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you following somebody?
I don't answer questions, sir.
Okay.
Am I free to go?
Yes, you're free to go.
Thank you.
He put them in their place without hesitation, one of the most satisfying walks of shame I have ever seen. Now that was a wild ride, and these next cops, they just showed a whole new level of stupidity.
I don't like your attitude. You come in here, you're supposed to be investigating. You should be asking me questions. Learn your job, dude. I'm tired of you cops not knowing what your job is.
On February 12, 2025, Auditor Jeff Gray stood outside Riviera Beach City Hall holding a sign supporting homeless veteran. Instead of respecting his rights, a security guard chose to interfere.
I'm sorry, you have to speak up. I can't hear well. Why that? Why's that? What's that? Yeah, solicitation's free speech. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yeah. Why would you do that?
Because you cannot do it.
It's free speech. It's free speech. This is City Hall property.
When it comes code, you're letting it go.
All right, you don't have to call the cops, man.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I have a right to be here. This is free speech. You do have a choice. You can just leave me alone. That's the funny thing about it.
Because then again, people gonna come through here and say,
You don't have
"All right,
to-
this guy is doing this." Then it's gonna be
You don't have to snitch, man.
Then it's gonna be me.
You don't have to snitch.
The guard used threats right away, warning Jeff about calling the police even though he had no reason to escalate the situation. This shows how easily power can be abused.
I'm not snitching. You're not supposed to do it.
Yes, I am. I have every right to be here just as much as anybody else does.
Okay, so when the cops come,
I can explain it to them, okay?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
I guess we got a complaint that you're asking customers for money, or you're bothering customers, or something?
I'm not bothering customers.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm just out here spreading the message. God bless homeless veterans.
They don't want your presence here right now because I guess some people are feeling uncomfortable with you coming up and they're making complaints to them, and that's why they called me. So, are you conducting any business here?
Like I explained to them, I am conducting business. I'm engaged in freedom of speech, freedom of religion on a traditional public forum, and I have just as much right to be here as anybody else.
Yeah, you do, but you have to be conducting business. And this is the city hall, so that's why, just give me a second. I'm gonna wait for my partner to get here.
A police officer showed up a few moments later, but just like the security guard, she disregarded Jeff's rights instead of defending them.
Yeah, like I said, I'm engaged in free
I
speech.
understand that, and you're allowed to do your freedom of speech and whatnot, but obviously this is a timely hour where people are conducting business and they're not
Yes.
really comfortable with you coming up.
Normal business operating hours. Yeah.
Okay, so, but they're not comfortable with
What's the uncomfortable law?
Give me a second, let me just wait
Okay.
till my partner gets here.
How you doing, sir?
You got ID?
Why do I need to give you ID?
Double check something.
What?
He's recording, just heads up. Just
What's
like we're
going on?
recording, he's recording too.
Yes or no question. Do you have ID?
Of course I have
Can I
ID.
have it, please?
No. I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity on a traditional public forum.
I didn't ask you anything else. I just asked you for your
Okay,
ID.
well, I'm just letting you know.
No. Thank you.
The officer clearly did not expect resistance, and when Jeff refused to comply, his unprofessionalism only worsened.
I'm just letting you know I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity on a traditional public forum. There's freedom of speech.
Thank you for sharing that.
What's your name?
It's Officer Brown.
What's your badge number?
4994.
Okay, what's your, are you body cam recording? What's your attitude, man?
I asked you a simple question. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. Don't put your hands up to me like that.
I don't need a conversation.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to the hand then. I don't like your attitude, man. But I will put you on notice that if you guys remove me from this property, you will be held accountable. Jackass.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Jackass. I don't like your attitude.
I didn't hear you.
Jackass. I called you a jackass. I don't like your attitude. You come in here, you're supposed to be investigating. You should be asking me questions.
I did ask you.
You asked me for my ID.
Yes, sir.
Is my ID going to tell you whether a crime is afoot? Is my ID, you want me? Hold on a second. It's in my pocket. I'll get my ID out for you.
When Jeff called out his bad attitude, the cop was taken aback. Instead of handling the situation calmly, he doubled down on his rude behavior.
I'm tired of you cops not knowing what your job is. Straight to ID. So just so you know, I would like to stay and enjoy my freedom of speech rights But if they do say that I'm trespass, you give me a trespass warning, I'll leave.
I think my partner asked for your ID. You refused to give it?
Yeah, I'm not committing a crime.
Did you refuse to give the ID? That's what I asked.
Yeah, I'm refusing to give ID. I'm not committing a crime.
So in order for us to trespass you, we got to get your ID.
No, you don't. You just trespass me.
No, because in our we give a CAD. So then if you come back, then you get arrested for
It's a civil matter.
That's how you see it. Civil matter or not?
No, that's how the courts see it.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you.
That's how the law sees it. If you trespass me, I leave. I'm not giving you ID.
Despite their lack of knowledge of the law, these officers stubbornly defended their mistake, exposing their ignorance for all to see.
So am I good to go, man?
There's other things to do in the city right now.
Am I good to go? No answer, just gonna walk away. Completely unprofessional. So they got the word to leave me alone, and they can't bring themselves to be big enough to say, yes sir, you're good to go. There's better things to do in the city right now. You're damn right there's better things to be doing in the city right now than harassing a person who is engaged in freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly on a traditional public forum. There they go, tucking their tails and running.
While this was humiliating enough, this next woman turned out to be a lawyer and really owned these corrupt cops.
Step out the vehicle.
Oh, really?
Oh, she gonna resist? Step out the vehicle.
So I'm responsible in case something in there that could get stolen because lawyers are crooked.
Attorneys and police officers don't get along well, and it is mainly because these corrupt officers can't get past them. Today we'll be showing you similar instances where dirty and evil police officers were humbled and owned by these fiery lawyers. Civil rights lawyer Jill Jefferson, who had multiple lawsuits against the Lexington Police Department, was driving through town one night when she noticed officers pulling over some individuals. She began circling the scene and started recording on her phone, but it didn't take long before the officers turned their attention to her and stopped her instead.
Hey, what's up? Driver's license?
Why are you stopping me?
Why are you filming me? I'm stopping you because I'm going to check your registration because you've got a tag on here that's not proper.
Actually, my tag is proper. In Mississippi, there's a certain amount of time when you have a tag.
Oh, you live there? Well, I don't know that till I stop you and talk to you. Let me see your driver's license, please, ma'am.
What's your name, officer?
Scott Walters.
My name is Attorney Jill Collins Jefferson.
We know who you are.
I have a lawsuit right now against y'all, so thank you for giving me evidence.
I'm requesting your driver's license. You're driving on a public roadway.
The Lexington Police Department is well known for its corruption and racism, and this illegal traffic stop was only about to get worse.
Why are you asking for my driver's license?
Because I'm checking your tag. Ma'am?
What's the reason for this roadblock?
It's not a roadblock. We're on a felony traffic
then
stop.
why are you stopping me if it's not a roadblock?
Because you keep riding by, and I don't know if you're trying to shoot me or hurt me. I have no clue.
Is it a crime to drive by?
I don't know you.
Is it a crime
I don't
to drive
know you. Let me
by?
see your driver's license, ma'am. If you do not let me see your driver's license, you can be charged. Let me see your license.
I want you to charge me. Let's do it. I'm calling my attorney right now.
Hey, I'm gonna set Mr. Carter in.
You're an attorney. Wait a minute. You're calling your attorney, but you're an attorney.
Yes, even attorneys have their attorneys. It is shocking that this corrupt officer had no clue about that.
Not complying with you?
She's not complying. I've asked for a license 3 times.
Ask her one more time.
Let me see your driver's license, ma'am, right now.
Why are you pulling me over if this is not a roadblock?
Ma'am, you're about to go to jail.
Hey, Mike, I'm in Lexington, and the cops are saying they're about to arrest me.
For failure to comply.
Because I was driving and they pulled me over.
Let me see your driver's license.
Yeah, they're saying they're about to arrest me for failure to comply.
Because you will not hand me your license.
They stopped me when I was driving down the road, but they said it's not a roadblock. But they're trying to get my license, and they're not telling me why they're getting my license.
I don't have to until I identify you.
Yes, you do have to tell me why you get...
Tell her step out the vehicle. Step out.
You're under arrest.
Mike, they're trying
Step out of the vehicle now. Step out of the vehicle.
They're trying to open my door.
Ma'am.
Soon the cocky cops began forcefully removing her from the vehicle, and you won't believe how many of her rights they were about to violate.
Hang on,
ma'am, you're fixing to be removed from the vehicle.
Step out the vehicle.
You do not. I'm gonna give you
everything is being recorded. Everything is recorded. Step out.
Yeah, it is being recorded.
Step out the vehicle.
Okay, Mike.
Step out of the vehicle now.
I'm not stepping out of the vehicle.
You're gonna be charged with resisting arrest.
Oh,
step out the vehicle.
Step out of the vehicle. I'm gonna
step out of the vehicle.
Oh,
Get out
just
now.
snatched my
Get out of the
Step
vehicle.
out of the vehicle.
Get out of the vehicle now.
You're under arrest. Step out the vehicle.
Oh, really?
Oh, she gonna resist?
Step out the
Oh,
vehicle. Step out the
really,
vehicle.
AG?
Step out the vehicle. Turn around.
Okay, AG.
Turn around.
Let's do this. Mike, I need you to come to... Mike, I need you to come to Lexington right now.
Ma'am, if you push me one more time, I'm going to charge you with assault on a police officer, which is a felony.
Put you in court.
Miss Jefferson was still in shock at how quickly things had escalated. However, she had gathered solid evidence for yet another lawsuit against these thugs, and this situation was far from over.
What's your name? Because we are about to get you. This is your last day.
Man, we've been doing that 35 years.
Yeah, this is your last day. Where am I? You know you're not supposed to do this, and you know you're about to get in court for this.
You have to listen to what the officer tells you to do.
Right?
You have to do what the officer
You know you're about to be in court for this, right?
You have to do what the officer tells you to do.
You know you're about to be in court.
Hey, that's what we
need to know that. What is your name? What is his name?
That's Scott Walters.
Scott Walters, okay.
Badge 9. Have a seat.
AG, I want you to know this is an illegal stop and this is a false seizure right now.
Okay.
I'm about to get y'all's ass. This is perfect evidence.
Okay. Have a seat in the vehicle.
Yeah, we got this.
Have a seat in the vehicle now.
Yeah.
The officers had made a mess of this simple situation, and the brutality was only about to get worse, courtesy of Officer Scott Walters.
Ma'am, please have a seat in the vehicle.
I am sitting.
Put your legs in the vehicle.
Oh, are you about to close the door?
Have a seat in the vehicle.
AG, I'm sitting like this and I'm gonna stay like this, okay?
So we gotta put your legs in the vehicle.
So AG, if you're gonna use force on me,
I ain't gonna use force on you. You're gonna put your legs in the vehicle.
what is the charge?
Please,
to comply.
Please put your legs in the vehicle.
There is only failure to
Please
comply
put your
when I'm in the process of committing a crime, actually.
You're a lawyer, man, correct?
I'm telling you, it's only failure to
Please put your legs in the
comply.
vehicle.
It is only failure to comply when I'm committing a crime.
Not here, it's not. Put your feet in the car.
That is exactly what the law says.
No, ma'am.
Put your legs in the
Okay,
vehicle.
you know
We'll have court in court.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
After locking her in the car, Officer Scott mimicked shooting Miss Jefferson with his fingers, a disturbing display of his tyrannical mindset. He then proceeded to search her vehicle.
No, my camera never went off damn time. She was doing suspicious behavior.
You need to turn around. If the road's blocked, it's probably safe to say. You won't.
No, you're good. You're good.
We're just in the middle of two things. Make sure there's no valuables in the car. That's what I'm looking for. You follow me?
You had reasonable suspicion anyway.
Yeah, she was acting, I was worried about my safety.
Hey, they back, man. They back. You hear me? Officers are back.
You see I'm taking the rest of her wallet?
Yeah.
Oh, no, she had, hold that. Who's Timothy? She's an attorney? She said,
I guess so.
if she's an attorney, why don't she say she had an attorney? Now, if you got a Mississippi, you can't have a Mississippi DL in another state. Oh, it expires in 17. I see.
As the attorney protested the illegal search, she faced Officer Scott again, who remained as tyrannical as ever. The search dragged on, and eventually the officers found something that truly brought a smile to their faces.
I'm going to claim on the camera. I understand you claim to be an attorney, but if you want, I wouldn't hire you for shit. Number one, search engine to arrest. I'm required because your car is getting towed. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my car. Okay.
Sweetheart, we'll see.
Great.
Yeah, it is. So I'm responsible in case something in there could get stolen because lawyers are crooked.
I'm so glad.
I believe it, sir.
Oh, I'm about to do the bond sheet. Oh, is that a gun?
Oh. Please be stolen. Oh, shit, we got a gun on the receipt, everything else. It ain't illegal unless it's stolen, and please, I ain't never hoped the gun would be stolen before right now. And that's on camera. I don't
know. She's gonna want to put you in court for sure.
I don't give a damn. Well, I've been going to court for 35 years. It won't scare me.
Imagine the audacity, hoping that the gun was stolen just to stack charges. But Officer Scott's excitement didn't last long. A quick search confirmed that the firearm was legally registered to Miss Jefferson.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you found a gun. I want to get some dope in here. What's that up under the seat up under there?
I'm being routed to 1015 to the state. Airport.
I don't give a damn if you see a seed on the She must not know the law.
She don't. That's what I'm trying to tell her.
All you need is get yours.
Nothing was found in her car, and eventually she was arrested for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. However, it only took a week for both charges to be dropped. The attorney filed a lawsuit against the Lexington Police Department and Officer Scott. Seeing this case, the U.S. Department of Justice jumped in and launched an internal investigation into the police department. This could finally bring justice to Miss Jefferson and possibly lead to the firing of incompetent cops like Scott. Now, while this lawyer had the last laugh, these next deplorable cops were badly owned on the spot.
Okay, there's no audio?
No.
Okay.
There is audio on mine, and I'm a lawyer, and I know what the law is.
So you know about
I'll take the
wiretap
rest. You
laws,
can
is that
take me to
correct?
court.
The Philadelphia Gun Club was conducting a cruel and illegal live pigeon shoot when two women began recording the event. The club quickly called the Bensalem Police Department, and Sergeant Joseph Blickley arrived ready to intimidate them. However, he had no idea that one of the women was Philadelphia attorney Mary Ann Bessie, who wouldn't back down.
So we would appreciate it if you would leave. You are on private property. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have the audio on those cameras?
Yes.
Okay, would you mind turning the audio off?
No, I don't need to.
Okay.
You know, do I have to repeat what I just said?
Well, I
to this
think
young
this
lady?
is public access here.
Well, you're on private property and you're past
Well, I think
that
it's
point.
public. Well, I think this is
I think
public
you're past-
access.
Miss, it is a safety.
You understand you have every right to protest, but that you can't be on their property without their consent.
Okay.
You can be on public property, you can be on the roadway where it does not impede traffic, but they have the right to ask you to leave the property.
Okay. Well, there is public access along here, so it goes to a certain point. So I think we're within that point.
Miss Bessie was right. As they were standing on public property, they had every right to be there and protest. However, the influential Philadelphia Gun Club tried to show its power.
You are understanding that you're creating a safety hazard here.
No, I don't think we are.
Well, I am telling you that you are.
Well, what basis do you have for that? Because I'm telling you we're not.
You're in the roadway right now creating a
Well,
safety hazard.
so are you.
for people to come in.
So are the police
Because you're
officers.
here, I have to be here.
Well, I think we're standing by the side of the road. We were not in the road. We were always within the public access area.
Do you know exactly where your property limits are? And we'll ask them to stay outside that.
Technically, we are responsible up to the roadway.
Okay. Okay, and I'm going to ask you to turn the audio and the cameras off because it's illegal in Pennsylvania.
It's not illegal.
Yes,
Okay.
it is, miss.
I'm sorry.
You
It's
can
not illegal.
Ma'am, you can videotape me, but I'm asking you not to audio tape without my consent. Can
Okay.
you please do that?
Well, I understand what you're saying. I do.
Okay.
I
Ma'am,
understand what you're saying.
Okay, there's no audio?
There is audio on mine, and I'm a lawyer, and I know what the law is.
So you know
I'll
about
take the
wiretap
rest. You
laws,
can
is that
take me to
correct?
court.
It is pathetic how the club member continues to talk and intimidate the women despite two police officers being present on the scene. Sergeant Blickley even tries to lie about the wiretap laws despite it being perfectly legal to record both video and audio of police officers in public.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get into that here. Do you have identification, please?
I don't on me, no.
You don't have
No,
identification?
I don't have identification on me, no.
Okay, you have no idea
On me, no.
Okay, can I have your name, address,
Sure.
and birthday, please?
What do you need it for? Am I going to be arrested?
When we get a call, we get to take a police report that we get a call.
Okay.
That's all.
What do you need my ID for? Why do you need my name?
We're here on a police call. We're having contact with you, and we're going to identify you and name you on our police report. That's what we do.
Okay, well, I'd rather not give you my name.
Okay. Why would that be?
Because I don't think I'm doing anything illegal. I don't think I'm under suspicion of anything.
Okay. Well,
Why do I need my name?
You just told me that you're audio taping us, and I asked you not to do that under Pennsylvania wiretap laws.
Okay.
Okay. She told me she's not audio taping. Audio taping. I have no problem with that. I'm asking you to do the same thing.
Okay, can we get a supervisor here? Because
I am one.
Okay, how about you? Above you?
That's not possible right now.
The incompetency of Sergeant Blickley was mind-boggling, as he really had no clue about the law. As they continued talking, the attorney kept on grilling him.
You're going to take me into custody because of suspicion of violation of the wiretap law?
Did I ever say that? I asked for
Well,
your
you asked for my ID, so I'm under suspicion for something, and you said the wiretap law. So what? Okay. But
You
you said
asked-
the reason that you wanted my name and not hers was because of the wiretap law. And Val, please
Okay.
keep videotaping the people who come in.
Okay, you asked why we need your name and
Yeah.
your information. Did I
Right.
ever say that I'm going to take you into custody?
Well, you said that you needed it for the wiretap law. You said you think I'm in violation of the wiretap law, so I'm assuming that you're going to do something about that. That's why you need my name.
But I never said I was taking you into custody.
Okay, well then I don't think I need to give you my name.
Every police call that we go on, we identify who we talk to, who called the police, who we're talking to,
Well,
and they go in the police report.
Unless I'm under suspicion for something, I don't think I'm required to give you my name.
Realizing he was up against a qualified attorney who knew the law better than he, Sergeant Blickley's entire demeanor shifted. Desperate to save face, he went on to lie about what he had said earlier.
If you say I'm under suspicion for violation of the federal wiretap law or the Pennsylvania wiretap law, that's why you need my name, I'll give you my name.
I kindly asked you to stop audio taping, that's all I did.
Okay, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, and I said that I understand I'm a lawyer,
Okay.
well versed in the law. I've prosecuted cases under the federal and the Pennsylvania state wiretapping law. I know that this is
Okay.
legal.
Okay.
So, you're telling me you don't think it is, and you want my name to fill out in your report because you think I'm violating the wiretapping law. That doesn't make sense to me. Because if you think I'm in
Okay.
violation of a crime, wouldn't you want to take me into custody and get all my information?
I never said that.
Okay, well then I'm not in violation of a crime?
I asked you to stop audio taping.
Right.
I said in Pennsylvania we have wiretapping laws. It's
Right.
not legal to audio tape someone without their consent. You refused. I asked you for your information. I never said anything about taking you into custody.
Okay.
Sergeant Blickley knew it was perfectly legal to film and record in public. He knew he couldn't arrest her as any charges would never hold up in court. Watch how his ego has shrunken in minutes just because of this fearless lawyer.
I don't think I'm violating.
Okay.
This is public property. This is
Okay.
public access.
Well, I don't know that you're on public property right now.
Well, I know that we are. I looked into it. We've done this before. We've been here many, many weeks. We stand in the public access area.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Do you know for a fact that right now you're on public property?
well, because we stood, now I think we're in the driveway because we're talking to you. But where we were standing.
If you're not sure either, how could you say that we're in violation?
I don't know. I do
Well,
not.
then,
Right,
if
then
no
why
one
are you-
knows, then somebody needs to find out, and it probably would be more of your responsibility being you're in the law.
The attorney really ran circles around the sergeant, who stood there like a dummy. However, after a brief discussion, he returned with an even more pathetic statement, desperately trying to justify himself.
Okay, here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We cannot have you stand in the driveway here
Okay.
on this side of State Road where this is plowed because they've maintained it and they don't want you on the driveway.
Okay.
If you want to stand on the other side of these snowbanks, you can do that, okay? We're going to find out through the township exactly where their property line is, but for right now, we're going to ask you not to impede their traffic and not to stand in this driveway. If you want to stand on the other side of State Road, I can't tell you to stand on someone's private property. If you want to stand anywhere that's public property, you can do that. We don't know exactly how far their private property goes to State Road or what's considered public access because there is no sidewalk here under the snow. But what they're asking is you don't stand on this plowed driveway and you stand on the other side of these snowbanks.
Bessie wasn't going to back down so easily, and she had the perfect reply ready for the sergeant, who was about to get owned yet again.
Okay.
Okay, let me finish. What will happen if we don't move?
If this is private property and you don't move, you could be cited for trespassing.
I'm asking you, what will happen now today if we don't move right now?
If you don't move,
Before you find out what his
Yeah, like right now
property
you're
lines
taking
are.
his word for it and maintain, and your understanding of law is that because they maintain this driveway, we have to go, a certain
What-
distance from the snow. I'm asking you, what will you do if we don't move?
I will go to the township. I will find out exactly where their legal property line is, and if law enforcement action has to be taken or citations have to be issued, that'll be done. What the question is right now.
The Bensalem Police Department is known for supporting the corrupt Philadelphia Gun Club, shielding its members from accountability. Shortly after, the women complained about a club member almost running them over with his car deliberately, and you won't believe how the cop reacted.
Officer, while you're here, we got somebody on videotape who almost sideswiped me deliberately. He actually went into the snow trying to hit me when I was off the road. Well, I'll have to look at the video to see what I captured, because I won't make a report unless I actually got his information.
All right. I can assure you no one has given these people any reason be unsafe. We would not do something like that.
Well, videotape doesn't lie.
We are being as courteous to you as we possibly can.
Video doesn't lie, so we'll see.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does? Okay.
The officer doesn't even bother to look at the video and rules out the possibility of that happening. However, the footage clearly proves what did happen.
Oh, he's trying to get me. Ooh. Yeah, he did. Did you see that? Be careful, Val.
Once again, no action was taken against the gun club, but the officers also left both of these women alone after the courageous approach shown by Attorney Bessie. Now moving on, here is another instance when a lawyer caught these cops breaking the law and took them to the cleaners.
Don't run my ID.
Don't run your ID?
I have no reason to.
Well, we're going to at least mark it down. We're going to take down your information.
Nope.
On July 10th, 2021, civil rights attorney Emmanuel Olawale was disposing of trash in a dumpster on his own property when Westerville police officers approached him and demanded his ID.
Here's my business card.
Sweet 160. Okay.
All right.
Huh?
Show you my ID.
If you don't mind, just so, yeah, if you don't mind, can we see your ID?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
That's a slick business card.
Yep.
All right. I'll give it to him. You can keep doing what you're doing. We're just, again, we're kind of concerned. Yeah, seeing somebody dump a bunch of stuff there. So,
okay.
Can I have it back? No, don't run it.
Oh.
Don't have to, don't run my card. Don't run my ID.
Huh?
Don't run my ID.
Don't run your ID?
I have no reason to.
The attorney was courteous enough to provide his ID, but did not allow these cops to run him down as he had broken no law. Now watch as he gives these officers a lesson in the law.
down, we're going to take down your information?
Nope. I'm on my property, putting trash in mine.
Okay, but this is not just your property. It's several people's property.
I understand.
Okay.
But I'm not violating any law. So don't
No
run
one
my
said that
ID.
you're violating any law.
No, don't run my ID. I'm a lawyer. I know my rights.
Okay.
I'm not violating any law. I'm on my property. There's no suspicion. No one called anybody. So don't run my ID. I only identified myself so that this won't escalate.
That's fine, but we can still mark down who we're out with, and so that's what we're going to do.
No.
Yes.
You didn't stop me. Don't turn this into an issue.
Sir, you are turning this into an issue. We're just simply marking down who we're out with.
Yeah.
So he's just going to write it down on a piece of paper.
It's just your name.
Why?
Because, sir, we are out with you because we were concerned that you were illegally dumping.
But you already discovered. Do you want me to show you my office?
I understand that you're here, but I don't know if this dumpster belongs to you or somebody else in the
It belongs to me.
To you and you alone?
Yes.
Can you prove that that dumpster belongs to you and you alone?
This dumpster belongs to the property.
Okay,
and I'm
that's
dumping my stuff in there.
This was a classical case of racial profiling, as the officers had received no complaints about him and were just out there fishing for something. But little did they know they were up against a great attorney who wasn't going to back down.
So if it's also other units.
So what? It belongs to everybody. We're paying for it. It doesn't really matter if it belongs to all the units.
That's fine.
Just give me back my ID. Thank you. Thank you. Don't worry, everything is under control. And that's my wife.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
Do
you want your card back?
Yeah, I understand you came to check, but trying to run my ID to find anything, no, that's illegal.
That is not illegal. But okay, you can finish stumping if you like.
Next, this informed auditor made sure to teach these cocky cops the lesson.
You're not doing anything, you
Power-tripping officers often overstep their authority and make reckless decisions. Today we will look at cases where power-tripping cops went too far and were later put in their place by law-abiding citizens. Starting off with these corrupt and tyrant LAPD officers who took on an unarmed and innocent protesters that were trying to protest during the George Floyd incident.
You're not doing anything, you I'm not doing anything. What the doing? You pig!
Now, this was a shocking and bizarre encounter to unfold as the officers had just hit the poor protesters with their baton. It is unclear whether any complaint was filed against them later. Now, these tyrants got away with everything, but these next dumb officers were owned and humbled.
As your policy says, you're supposed to identify yourself, not just by pointing at your titty and saying, here it is.
In June of 2024, a First Amendment auditor was filming outside the Bo Robinson Treatment Center in Trenton, New Jersey, when a couple of officers pulled over and started questioning him.
I don't have any answers for you. So I'm just... Excuse you? I'm on public property right now.
Excuse me?
I'm on public property right now.
Right, but you're reporting a question.
Is that illegal?
Can be. Harassment.
Recording's harassment?
Yes.
You can't turn a constitutionally protected activity into a crime.
Do you have ID on you, sir?
No, I haven't committed the crime.
I asked you what you're doing in front of the facility?
I'm taking pictures and video of matters of public interest.
What's that public interest?
That's all I'm going to say. Is that recording?
Sure is.
Excellent.
The auditor refused to be intimidated by the officers who falsely accused him of harassment. That cop needs to go back and reread the law, as filming in public is not harassment.
Well, you're going to have to ask to move along.
No, I'm not leaving. I'm on public property. Get a sergeant out here. Or a lieutenant. You give me illegal directives to leave. You know I'm on public property. There's utilities here. This is a public sidewalk, correct? So Ramos versus Flowers. I'm allowed to record police departments. Glick versus Cuniff. I can record anything out in public. Did you tell Google to stop taking pictures of their facility when they flew their satellites over? Or is it just me? So I'd like a sergeant out here.
No problem, I'll get one for you.
Excellent.
The officers quickly realized that they were dealing with someone who knew the law better than they did. Their demeanor shifted and the situation was about to take another turn.
So officers, you do have violation of people parked on the sidewalk. Why don't you go give them some summonses?
That's out of our jurisdiction. That's Hamilton right there.
Okay, so...
That's like Hamilton, like that.
Okay. Is this a public facility or private?
I believe this is a state facility. I think this is state.
So he's telling me then it's private, which is a...
It might be private. I'm not 100% positive. I don't want to give you the wrong.
I mean, you got Department of Corrections here, so...
Right, that's why I'm thinking it is state.
Right, right, me too.
I don't think that's the county.
That's, yeah, it's New Jersey Department of Corrections.
Would you like to speak with my sergeant, or should I just not even have him come out?
Oh, you're giving me directives to leave, or what, you can arrest me?
I was just trying to figure out what you're doing here.
Yeah, but you're telling me illegal directives, so I got a problem with that.
Okay, then you can speak. He was on his way.
All right, cool.
It is great to see how the auditor stood up for his rights, and he was about to educate the officers even more, who were now trying to back off.
It is posted, no trespassing.
Yeah. So but if it's a state facility, I'm still allowed in there, because it's open to the public. That's not true. No, it's not.
They instruct you to leave.
So if I go to the police department, you tell me to leave, and I stay there. If I'm not committing a crime, I'm allowed to stay there. That's the law. So as long if this is a public facility, even if they have no trespassing, it's still open to the public. Until I broke a law, I wouldn't be in violation of anything. And if you guys do anything, I'll just see you guys again. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you give me illegal directives to leave.
I just asked you to. I didn't demand you leave. I asked you.
No, you're like, move along.
You're like, move along, yes.
Right, under color of law.
That's a request. That wasn't a demand.
Under color of law, you told me to move along.
The officer did indeed order him initially, but it soon became a request when he realized that the auditor was much more versed in the law than him. Shortly after, they made another bad decision, violating their own policies.
Your name and badge number?
There you go. You want to record it with your phone?
No, why don't you just say it? Because I know that's your policy.
There it is right there.
Say it. Say it. Name and badge number. Name and badge number, officer. All right. Name and badge number?
Officer Waller, 6635.
See how hard that is?
How are you, sir?
How you doing, Sergeant? Name and badge number?
Welcome to Billy, Crown Police.
Do you have a badge number or no?
92.
92, okay. So this officer here refused to identify himself verbally, so I'd like to file an IA on him. And he also told me to move along under color of law. it seems like that's a legal thing that he's telling me to do, and obviously I'm on public sidewalk, and it's not illegal to be on public sidewalk recording. So I'd like to file an IA on that gentleman there for those 2 incidents.
The ego-hungry officer refused to identify himself, further proving how big of a tyrant he was. Even more concerning was the fact that the sergeant came over to back his junior instead of following the law.
Correctional facility, and they called because you were out.
Yeah, that's fine, but that still doesn't negate what he just did.
What did he do?
He told me to move along under color of law of a public sidewalk with, to me, the threat of arrest, even though he didn't say that, and then he refused to identify himself. Because he told me to move along.
Right on his thing.
I let him record my name.
That's not what your policy is. Your policy says you're supposed to identify yourself, not just by pointing at your titty and saying, here it is. You don't say that to a judge, right? Hey, judge, look at... And just... You still can't say his name and badge number. You did, he did, no problem. You know, ego's got to go.
And as if that wasn't humbling enough, the auditor proceeded to file a complaint against the officers. Yet even after this, their inflated egos remained unchanged.
Correctional facility, and they called because you were out.
Yeah, that's fine, but that still doesn't negate what he just did.
What did he do?
He told me to move along under color of law of a public sidewalk with, to me, the threat of arrest, even though he didn't say that, and then he refused to identify himself. Because he told me to move along.
Right on his thing.
I let him record my name.
That's not what your policy is. Your policy says you're supposed to identify yourself, not just by pointing at your titty and saying, here it is. You don't say that to a judge, right? Hey, judge, look at... And just... You still can't say his name and badge number. You did, he did, no problem. You know, ego's got to go. And this guy's demanding my ID and stuff like that. He's not a cop. Even you guys can't get my ID. I haven't broken the law.
The gentleman in there?
Yeah, the gentleman with the blue shirt on. I mean, I haven't broken the law. You guys know that.
He's like, over here, I said you did.
Yeah?
Right?
No, I totally agree with it. I mean, but telling me to move along...
I just asked you.
Yeah, but under color of law, you're like, yeah, you need to move.
Soon, the auditor noticed another police officer on the scene driving without a seatbelt. Things were just getting downright embarrassing for these tyrants, as every one of them were called out and educated on the spot.
Your name and badge number? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You have your seatbelt on? No? So we don't wear seatbelts? What are we doing in this town? So you guys don't have a policy to wear seatbelts either?
Have a good day, sir. All right?
No, I'm following an IA. So that officer right there doesn't have a seatbelt on. Sergeant. Excuse me, Sergeant.
I heard you. Have a good day. I heard you. All right, 934.
All right, no problem. I'll do an IA on you. You just want to walk away? You got your officers here with no seatbelts on? You got officers here with no seatbelts on.
Have a good day.
So your policy is not to have seatbelts on?
This is what happens when a foolish officer meets a no-nonsense auditor. These cops will surely remember how not to handle someone filming in public. These power-tripping cops were shut down quickly, but this next sergeant was completely taken to the cleaners by a knowledgeable dad.
So go get a warrant.
Okay, well then that's what we'll do.
You have to get a warrant.
Okay.
In August of 2024, an individual named Bob arrived at his residence to find out that York County police officers had pulled over his daughter and her boyfriend. Without hesitation, Bob started to own the cops.
Why aren't y'all recording?
We recorded the people
No. You get pulled over, pull your cameras out, record them, and get name and badge numbers. You know you're blocking traffic, right? You know that bus had to go on the grass to get around you, right? Which is illegal.
Get around it. Sir, you're welcome to banter, record, berate me. It's not going to change what I'm doing out here.
I don't give a fuck what you're doing. You're blocking traffic.
Okay.
I couldn't get around you, and the bus couldn't get around you.
The officer claimed that his daughter had pulled a gun on somebody during a road rage incident. However, they had no proof for that, and the caring father made sure to stand up for his daughter's right.
You have a permission to search your car?
No, they don't have permission to search my car. I did nothing wrong.
They didn't see a gun. Anybody can ride down the street and say they saw a fucking gun. You can be his little bodyguard all you want. Just stay out of my fucking camera.
Who's the
name and badge number?
It's Sergeant Good, number 14. Are you the homeowner here?
Why does that matter?
Well, because I'm going to talk to the homeowner, see if either one can get search warrant.
They're not here.
Okay.
Instead of backing off, Sergeant Good claimed that he needed to search the house for a firearm. Bob, on the other hand, was not going to let him anywhere near without a warrant.
Does anybody here live here?
There's a couple people that live here.
Okay. Any adults?
Yeah, there's a few adults that live here.
Can I talk to one of them?
We're talking to one.
Okay, so you live here. Sir, I'm not your enemy. Okay, I understand you're apprehensive. You got a whole bunch of cops here and everything else. I understand that. I'm not here to bust your chops. I'm not accusing you of anything.
I guess what you're doing.
We got a call, and they are explaining to you or no? So we got a call about a road rage incident. They gave description of the vehicle, license plate number, description of the occupants. They said somebody waved a gun at them. Okay, so it is he said, she said at this point. Okay, but we also have to look at the motivation behind that call. It can happen, but does it happen all the time?
So
No,
go
it
get a
doesn't.
warrant.
Okay, well then that's what we'll do.
You have to get a warrant.
Okay. All right,
You're not searching anything on this property without a warrant.
What we're going to do, though, in the meantime, because there is a firearm involved, alleged to be involved, is that we're going to do a protective sweep of the residence. We can do that without a warrant, okay? We're going to make sure there's nobody in there with a loaded gun waiting to shoot us out the windows, okay?
There isn't.
Sergeant Good claimed that he needed to perform a security check, insisting it bypass the need for a warrant. However, security checks are only justified when there is an imminent threat, and in this case, all he had was a simple phone call.
How do I see you requested support for a traffic stop today? Is that correct?
Yeah, my daughter was pulled over, and now they want to search the house.
Hi.
Hey, I'm Sergeant Good with the York County Regional Police Department. Are you his representing attorney?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So what we have is we had a road rage incident where somebody described a pistol with extended magazine was pointed at them from a vehicle that's here in the driveway. The people that are here in the driveway, the police officers got here and saw them go into the house. And we want to try to confirm whether there's somebody in the house with an extended magazine pistol that was waving it at people or not.
Mr. Ward, you understand that they don't have a right to search your home without a warrant, correct?
I told them they cannot enter the house without a warrant.
Well, there's a difference between entering the house and doing a protective sweep to make sure there's not somebody in there pointing a gun at me right now.
Bob made a smart move to contact Attorney Shield and quickly got in touch with an attorney who was about to knock some sense into the officer.
You understand that he doesn't have to give you permission to enter his home unless you have a warrant.
Correct. For searching it, the protective sweep, I believe there's plenty of case law saying that we can make sure there's nobody armed and dangerous in there waiting to hurt us. Again, not to search the house, but to enter for a protective sweep.
You know, it is his private property, so unless you have a search warrant, you don't have a right to enter his home.
Okay, we might agree to disagree on that point for entry, but anyway, we'll apply for a search warrant, and as long as these people all stay out here, maybe we don't need to do a protective sweep and we'll just apply for the search warrant. So
suddenly the sergeant's voice started to fumble and he realized that there was nothing much more in the case. Getting an attorney on the line was surely a great decision.
I'm trying to look for cooperation, look for a specific weapon. If it's not there, great. But again, if you know, if you want to talk to him, see if there's anything that he wants to do with us, great. If not, we'll just secure the way we're at now. But we're not going to let anybody go back in the residence until we have a search warrant, because very well could be weapons inside, and he's actually admitted there's other weapons inside.
Yes, sir. I just, I have to protect my client's constitutional rights.
No, I get it. I totally understand. Yep. If somebody has this weapon and they're willing to escort us to it and get it, great.
There is no weapon they're talking about in this premises.
If there is no weapon, then I understand that also. But we can't just say, somebody says somebody did the same thing to you.
So anybody can call and say, hey, this guy has a gun. And you're going they're not here, so they can't say anything. They took a 911 phone call.
No, we talked to the person.
Just when things seemed hopeless, Bob's daughter informed them that they had marijuana in the car. If the officers checked, it could lead to a serious problem.
Do they have video also?
They do. I promise you they do. I'll ask them to do it. They got a video. I would hope to see it. They could have also just been holding their phone as a scare type thing, but it could be a multiple thing. So, I'll see if they have video. Exactly. We're not just harassing you guys here. We're gonna be talking to them and making sure. Because
And the reason why there is 4 cops is that, one, this is one that we would automatically send 2 guys on. And then I'm the 5th supervisor, so I'm going to come. You know what I mean? And the other guy was semi-close at the south end of the red line, so I told him. You know what I mean? It's not that, again.
Bob once again used attorney shield and asked the lawyer how to proceed from there.
So yeah, if you do give them permission to search, and they find something like that, just know that it is up to their discretion whether or not they want to press charges.
I gotcha.
And sometimes, when you are cooperative, they might let something like that slide, but there's no guarantee. So, giving up your rights in that instance, the charges.
I gotcha.
The father ended up allowing the officer to search the vehicle, hoping that he would not hold them accountable for the marijuana present in the car. As expected, the officers only looked for a weapon and could not find anything.
we kind of see him. Once I saw him get the stuff out of the car. That was for no. I never. This stuff. That stuff.
Okay, all right. So they just bring the fish around. So nobody carried something in there. We're just looking for a large pistol with an extended magazine. So that's it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You have a card?
In my car.
You got a card?
I'll grab it for you then.
So glad I have this app now.
It's definitely a good resource.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys. Look at the car. Really, no gun in it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why the caller's adamant that she saw.
That's because we were recording them because they had a bat. Like, they were literally waving the bat out the window. Like, pull over. A bat? Yeah. Like a baseball bat, yeah.
Meanwhile, Bob's daughter and her boyfriend claimed that it was the opposite party who pulled a gun on them, and they even had video evidence of the incident.
If I was more certain that somebody could have snuck the gun into the house, we would get a search warrant for the house.
That's the only way you're entering the house.
These guys are saying, what's that?
It's the only way you're going to enter the house.
Right. No, I get that. And I'm not here to, flex on you or anything like that. Okay. But if my guys would have said, somebody carried a bag inside or something. But under the circumstances at that point, I don't think we are gonna search the house. I don't think you saw your attorney on the phone down there. I don't think we are, since we were able to check the car, and we're pretty certain that nobody's going to be done
now until they were getting closer. And then once we started following you out, it's like, wow, now we better make contact before they start.
After an extensive search, the cops found nothing. They then watched the video of the incident and realized they had been in the wrong. Seeing this, they quickly left the scene and headed back.
Exactly. We're not just harassing you guys here. We're going to be talking to them and making sure.
And the reason why there is 4 cops is that, one, this is one that we would automatically send 2 guys on. And then I'm the 5th supervisor, so I'm going to come. You know what I mean? And the other guy was semi-close at the south end of the red line, so I told him. You know what I mean? It's not that, again, whenever we have a call that involves a firearm, we have to just caution. 14.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, too.
Well, if you thought that was satisfying, just wait. This next journalist takes things up a notch.
You claim to defend women, and I feel like now you're harassing me.
A badge and a gun do not grant extra rights or privileges, but some corrupt cops fail to understand that as they resort to intimidation and scare tactics. But today, we will dive into cases where these dirty officers messed with the wrong person and quickly learn their lesson. First Amendment Auditor Leroy from the Leroy Truth Investigation channel took a bold step by visiting the Union City Police Department record room to investigate corruption allegations regarding how pistol permits are issued. However, he had no clue how this would trigger the corrupt sergeant.
Union City, New Jersey, and I have some important questions to ask the Nepotism sergeant named Michelle Zerone Piccini, who is the wife of Beta Butt Boy Anthony Piccini.
Are you protecting the women? Hey, get off me! I knew you were gonna do that. You knew I was gonna do that when you assault me? Hey, I knew that.
When I ask the questions related to gun permits, she is meeting with people and trying to determine the gun permits initially, and then telling her hubby, hey, allow this person to gun permit, not this person. They're in collusion with this, allegedly.
Hey, I got some questions for Michelle
Jerome there? Can I ask her? I need to ask her some questions. Oh, hey there. Ask some questions. Good you got your body cam on. Hope for that. And some questions about, number one, the gun permit situation.
Leroy went out to investigate Michelle Zerone, the nepotism officer, and how she handled pistol permits. What unfolded next is quite interesting.
Now, you're married to Chief Ficini, and is that correct?
Do you want a gun application form on how to do it?
Well, I want to know what kind of collusion. But this is absolutely work related. I want to know if you're in collusion with your husband on who to give permits to, or who. Hold on, I'm not done talking. Who to give gun permits to, and who to deny gun permits to.
You claim to defend women, and I feel like now you're harassing them.
Oh, so now you're a sergeant, police sergeant, and you just said because you're a woman. You're a police sergeant. I don't look at you as a woman or a man. I look at you as a police sergeant.
Is it anything work related?
So listen, she just pulled female harassment because I'm asking her a question of nepotism and possible collusion between her and her husband when it comes to gun permits.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You can try and apply and see how it works.
I already have people.
It goes through the state police.
No, I don't need it.
As soon as Leroy began speaking with Michelle, she wasted no time in playing the card and shifted the conversation right from the start.
No, I don't want it. I already have people who have told me, and they're alleging that you're in collusion with your husband, Chief Anthony Ficini. This is Sergeant Michelle Zerone Ficini. That you're in collusion with him, and you decide who's going to get them and who doesn't together, which is a major conflict of interest.
You say so. So here's the application. If that's how you feel, you can try doing it.
It's not a matter how I feel. I already have people coming to me that says that you have been illegally denying them gun permits. Yeah, number two, about, and was it Detective Contrast that, did you kick her out like you did George Haber?
There's no Detective Contreras here.
All right, so what was her name? The woman that had an argument with you and you got really upset and you told your husband to remove her from the record room?
You are talking about, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
There was someone in the record room here that I was told was that you just had removed because you had a mean girls fight with them.
Despite being the sergeant, Michelle simply walked away and avoided any responsibility for handling the situation.
Is there anything else that can help you?
No, that's my question.
Okay, then that's not work related.
Of course it's work related. It's someone who is in this office working with you. So can you believe? Then she walks away and she's a coward like her husband. And can you believe that she said, oh, I'm here to, I say I want to protect women, but I'm harassing a woman. She's a sergeant in the police department. Whether she's a man or a woman is irrelevant. That was really dumb what she just did. Because yes, I do protect women. Obviously she doesn't, because she would be curious about the 3 women who were sexually assaulted in the Department of Parks. And that Brian Stack is allegedly having Alicia Morahone retaliated against them. And allegedly Brian Stack told Esther Suarez, the Hudson County prosecutor, to kill the investigation against Raul Janau, the man who is accused of sexually assaulting the 3 women who work in the Department of Parks.
When things don't go your way or your authority is questioned, just call in an army of police officers. And that is exactly what Sergeant Michelle did.
Women, obviously, I do. And then she just pulled this out of thin air. Disgusting. She needs to go. Chief Ficini needs to resign. Sergeant Michelle Zerone Ficini needs to resign. The corruption here is so deep. And of course, Mayor Brian Stack needs to resign and be in federal prison. They called you up to babysit? Did they call you up? Hey, oh, hey, hello. Hey, good to see you. Did they call you up here?
I don't know what's going on.
She just accused me of harassing her as a female. I had a question for her, and she says, "Oh, you say you support women. You're harassing a female. No, you're a police officer. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I'm asking you questions as part of your duty." Hey, did they call the whole gang up here now?
Oh.
Hey.
I don't know. That's how you doing, all right?
Good to see you.
Sergeant Michelle displayed classic criminal behavior and mentality, claiming that Leroy harassed her when he only questioned her about her wrongdoing.
It's not work related. It's more harassment. So if it's anything having to do with the record,
what a liar.
I will help him. But if he's gonna come here and harass me, then
That's not harassment.
Okay.
Sergeant.
Is it about them? Is it about business?
Absolutely, it's about business. Of course it is. I'm an investigative journalist, and so I'm not going to get into it with you, but I have very, very important questions. I needed answers as to that there's allegations that her and Ficini, they collude. Ficini, let me see this logo. You all see this video. that her and Ficini are in collusion to deny certain people gun permits and to give other people gun permits. So there's an absolutely relevant business here. And for her to claim harassment is disgusting. I mean, it's just absolutely off the wall.
Neither of those public servants have any business determining who is eligible for a weapons permit. They don't have any authority to disregard your fundamental rights.
And she's trying to play this harassment card now. So that shows me she's hiding things, obviously. Otherwise, she would have just answered. She could say, hey, this never happened. Even though I've had a number of people come to me and say that they've been unlawfully denied gun permits because of the collusion and conflict of interest between Sergeant Zerone Ficini and Chief Ficini. Yeah, they do it
feel
together.
That for some apparent reason, their applications aren't getting the attention that they deserve?
Yeah, because they're in collusion with each other. In other words, there's a conflict of interest. You can't have Michelle Zerone.
You out as far as like in a specific case, as far as like who got denied, that's upset?
No, I already have people that have come to me.
Okay.
So I didn't even get to ask her those questions. But I appreciate each of you, as always, you're professional. And
yeah, we just want to.
But she's literally lying right now. I have her on camera before.
Fortunately, the officers that Michelle called had a better grasp of the law.
It caused this to have 4 officers who are, again, professional. Again, you got to come up here if you're called. But she's literally lying, and obviously there's a cover-up going on here because of her reaction. So, no.
Can you speak to any other girls?
No, I'm going to honor you because I believe the office is just closed, so I'm going to honor that. So, cause I was done. I mean, I was leaving, but when I saw you all here,
and if you want to next time, there's other girls there that can help you out.
Well, but
and they're competent. They're really good.
All right, but she's the one who has the answers because she's the one accused of corruption. So I'm not going to ask someone else in there about her corruption. I'm going to ask her.
She might be, in her field,
She's not, you're not Phoenix police. She's not Phoenix police. She's a public official, and I have a right to ask her as an investigative journalist. Yeah, I have no issue with you. So.
I know. But whatever you need.
Yeah. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your night. Yeah, you too.
The officers actually listened to Leroy and backed him up on his point. Soon they left without causing any scene or trouble for Leroy, as they knew that Michelle was in the wrong. Now, if you think this cop was corrupt, watch the actions of these next tyrants. On January 21st, 2025, officers from the Riverside Police Department entered a residence looking for someone they wanted to question. Upon realizing the person was not there, they began to overstep their boundaries and mess around. The cops probably didn't figure out that there was a hidden camera watching them do everything. As some of the cops played with the parked bikes, one of them came and started taking pictures of the backyard. Suddenly, an officer spotted a skateboard and decided to show his colleagues some of his skills.
Keep it simple, dog. Keep it simple. Nope. Oh, I almost had it. Here. Do an ollie. Oh, what do you think? Ollie that shit.
Now, this seemed harmless at first, but things took a turn when another officer attempted to use a skateboard, only to realize that he wasn't cut out for it.
That checks out. I just was a rollerblade guy and like rollerblade guy. I was a blader. I was more of like a TV person. I get away with it. So maybe it's him.
The cops were joking around, attempting some tricks when they decided to call it a day and head back. However, something shocking was about to happen.
I'm just gonna ask him. I'm gonna take let me in by the house right there with that entry part pointed. Okay. Little uneasy, boy. No. Going easy. Okay. I'm loose around that boy. Yeah, it looks like. Trying to crack it right in the middle. Probably go boy.
Just when they were about to leave, one of the corrupt cops thought of something and went over to do the unthinkable. Without any reason, he broke the skateboard in half, destroying someone's property without even having a warrant to enter their house. The identities of the officers involved in this misconduct remain unclear, but the investigation is ongoing and these corrupt individuals will soon be brought to justice. Now, these officers are yet to be caught, but this next auditor made sure to give out a solid statement against these corrupt cops.
Sir, can I get your name and badge number, please?
It's right on my shirt.
Your name's right on your shirt?
Yep.
In April of 2024, First Amendment Auditor Sean Paul Reyes decided to peacefully protest against Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder, and he came up with quite an interesting idea.
All right, fellow patriots, so I went ahead and rented a billboard truck for 8 hours to expose the Nassau County Police Department, and in particular the Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Psycho Ryder. He has recently been seen at press conferences with Donald Trump. He's been all over Fox News. My sources from inside the department tell me that he wants to get involved in politics, possibly the federal government. So we're going to make sure that the world knows exactly who he is. Police brutality, official misconduct here. We have graphs from the asset forfeiture program. Just going to keep filtering through all these different pictures here. It's three-sided. I'm not going to be revealing.
After being wrongfully detained several times by Patrick Ryder, Sean took his battle to the street by renting a billboard truck and parking it right in Ryder's neighborhood.
Have ID on you?
I do not.
Any pockets?
I do not have any identification on me. I don't give identification unless I've been suspected of committing a crime, Officer
Well, I'm
Poulos.
asking you for your identification.
And I'm going to respectfully decline that request. I'm peacefully protesting. What does it look like? Do you see? Peacefully protesting. See the billboard truck?
Billboard truck?
Yeah, you see it? With all the different signs that's going to be on there?
That's going to be on there? It looks like there's nothing on there right now.
Well, yeah, he's changing the settings right now, but yeah. It's a peaceful protest against the Nassau County Police Commissioner, Patrick Ryder.
Permit for that protest?
I don't need a permit. I don't need a permit. I'm not using any megaphones or doing anything of that nature.
A huge screen here.
Right.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, it's 100% necessary. I'm going to be out for 8 hours. I'm going to be here for a while, then I'm going to drive around.
Moments later, Officer Poulos arrived and demanded Sean's identification, but Sean straight up refused since he had done nothing wrong.
Look, he hired 17
Stop recording. Stop.
17
I'm asking
former.
you to stop recording. I'm asking you for your identification.
No, you're not getting my identification.
Over there?
You're not, just stay in the truck. You're not getting any identification, and I'm not going to stop recording. Period. That's it.
So you just have to be difficult.
I'm not being difficult. I'm exercising my rights. You took an oath to uphold those rights.
I am.
So you should. You didn't take an oath to protect the...
I'm asking you for your identification.
And I'm telling you no. It's my Fourth Amendment right not to identify myself to law enforcement.
Okay.
You know who I am.
So for my safety, I'm going to pat you down, all right?
I don't consent to any searches or seizures, so you do what you do.
I'm not searching you. I'm going to pat you down to make sure you don't have any weapons.
I don't consent to any searches or seizures.
That's fine, all right? You got anything else on you?
Asking for ID, ordering him to stop recording, controlling where he stands, and patting him down without his permission, this cop is everything that is wrong with policing.
Stay on the sidewalk.
I'm going on that sidewalk.
No. Just stay on that sidewalk.
I'm going to go on that sidewalk, sir.
You're not going to go on that sidewalk.
Yes, I am.
Just stay on that sidewalk for right now. I'm asking you. Am I
being detained?
No. I'm asking you to cooperate with me. Why
I don't want
to have to.
Because, sir, I'm a free American. I can do what I want.
You're in the roadway right now.
I can do what I want. I want to get this.
Issue.
I want to get
That's
this.
actually an issue.
I want to get this officer's name and badge number. I'm allowed to cross the street.
He will come over to you.
This officer came in here and he was very aggressive. Driving down like if this was some sort of emergency. A man peacefully protesting. No lights and sirens. Coming in. Extremely high speed. Do you see the Nassau County Police Department? I want you to stop recording. Why can't you just listen to us and cooperate? Let us violate your constitutional rights. So we have an undercover plainclothes unit here.
The police commissioner messed with the wrong guy. He thought he would scare Sean off, but all he did was make him more determined to expose the truth.
Hey Sarge, why are you touching the vehicle? Another intimidation tactic, ladies and gentlemen, walking around our big, beautiful truck here. I promise it looks very clear in person. But just intimidation tactics here by the law enforcement officers and the goons of Patrick Psycho Rider. So we are in the Billboard truck right now, driving around the neighborhood of Patrick Psycho Rider, just to, there he is right there. He's getting in his truck. That's his truck right there. You can see he just got in his SUV right there. He was waiting for us to leave. Interesting. Very interesting. He's finally getting to work. What time is it now? It is 12:30. We've been out here since 9 a.m. and Patrick Ryder hasn't been to work. He's that terrified of a camera.
Sean made a legendary move and drove the Billboard truck around town, educating the Nassau County citizens and Ryder's neighbors.
Patrick Ryder shouldn't be the police commissioner if he was arrested for perjury, misconduct, official misconduct, and police brutality. She said it, a resident. He shouldn't be the police commissioner then, but he is. And that's the sad part, he is. And a disgraced county executive, Ed Mangano, who's in federal prison right now, is the person who appointed him to that position.
Sean continued his protest, and while several officers approached him, no one crossed the line or broke the law. So we can only hope that the corrupt Commissioner Ryder is held accountable for his crimes. Now that happens to bring us to the end of this video. Today we saw clueless police officers messing with the wrong people. These corrupt cops quickly learned why challenging informed citizens is a losing battle. Hopefully these encounters knock some sense into them, leading to better behavior in the future. If you agree, please support us by liking this video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, watch how these domestic abusers were caught and humbled by these cops.
Did he make that scratch on your arm too?
Yeah. Oh, hey, let me see. Calm down.